Long ago, the Israelites needed a leader. They wanted a king like other nations. God chose Saul, a tall and strong man. Saul was a good king at first, but he disobeyed God. God was sad. He knew Israel needed a new king. God sent the prophet Samuel to Bethlehem. Samuel was to anoint the next king. God chose David, the youngest son of Jesse. David was a shepherd, tending his father's sheep. He was a young man, but brave and faithful. God saw something special in David. One day a giant named Goliath challenged the Israelite army. Goliath was huge and terrifying. He mocked the Israelites and their God. No one dared to fight him. They were all afraid. David heard Goliath's insults. He was angry. How dare he defy the living God? David was not afraid. He trusted in God's strength. David went to fight Goliath, armed with only a sling and stones. He knew God would be with him. David's courage amazed everyone. No one, not even his own brothers, believed he could win. But David knew that God was with him. He ran towards Goliath, shouting a message of faith. With one smooth stone from his sling, David defeated the giant. David's victory made him a hero. People sang his praises. This made King Saul jealous. He saw David as a threat. Saul's heart turned dark with envy and fear. Saul tried to kill David many times. He chased him across the land. David had to hide in caves and deserts. Through it all, David remained loyal to God. He also refused to harm Saul, even when given the chance. David knew that God had chosen Saul as king. He would wait for God's timing. Section 4, Lessons in Leadership. David's story teaches us about leadership. True leaders have courage. They face giants even when they are afraid. David teaches us that courage comes from trusting in God. When we face our giants, we must remember that God is with us. David's story also teaches us about patience. David could have tried to take the kingdom from Saul, but he waited for God's timing. He trusted God's plan. Real leaders are patient. They trust God and His timing. Section 5, Patience and Trust. Patience doesn't mean doing nothing. It means waiting with a hopeful heart. David didn't just sit and wait during his difficult time. He kept serving God, kept leading his men, and kept trusting in God's promises. He used his time to grow stronger in his faith. David's patience eventually paid off. When Saul died in battle, David became king. He led Israel with wisdom and courage, just as God knew he would. His patience had prepared him well for the challenges of leadership. Section 6, The Legacy of David. David's reign marked a new era for Israel. The kingdom grew strong under his leadership. He united the tribes and expanded their territory. David is remembered as a great king, a man after God's own heart. His story reminds us that leadership is not about power, but about serving others. David's life teaches us to face our giants with courage, to wait with patience, and to trust in God's plan. These lessons are timeless, inspiring us to live with faith and purpose.